Welcome back to the show. Boy, Dan, I'm going to miss those lovely shots of San Francisco and this beautiful weather we got out here. All right, Super Bowl 60, pretty much a disaster for the Patriots. They lose 29-13 to the Seahawks, but it was a lot worse than that, Dan. When I ask you for who do you look at who is the most responsible? Who do we blame for this loss? Where do you start?
Well, Drake Maye's getting hammered around the country, and that's unfortunate. You know, some guys, Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl at the same age, lost, and never got back to it. You don't know if you're going to get back in this game, so it's dicey for him. I'm sure he wants to get back out in the field and restore his reputation right away. That's a little bit unfair because it's very unfair. The offensive line really let him down. You got to blame them the most for this. I mean, it was not a fair fight. He was scrambling the whole night long. They were in his face. Campbell, what was the number of pressures that Campbell allowed?
I saw, according to NESN, Will Campbell allowed 14 pressures, which was the most ever in a playoff game since they've been tracking this stuff for the last decade.
There you have it. So it turns out short arms are a thing. Maybe he's out of position. Maybe they got to move him to a different position. But that was unacceptable, and he was on turnstile all night and didn't talk after the game, which is not exactly great. You know, do better. But I think the O-line gets the bulk of it, and we can go down from there. Why don't you take the next one? Who else you want to blame?
Well, I think you made a great point first about Drake Maye. I like you, have been listening to the national chatter this morning, and Drake has been getting crushed.
Take cover.
Not only for his performance on Sunday night, but really for his whole playoff run. You know, for the whole season, he was high completion percentage, pushing the ball downfield. You get to the playoffs, all 4 games, he's under 60%, and his play really fell off. His QBR, passer rating, I mean, among the worst performances. But to me, this is not on Drake. This is on, as you said, the offensive line. It was abysmal for the entire playoffs, completely got exposed between left tackle Will Campbell, left guard Jared Wilson, and frankly, center Garrett Bradbury as well. And none of the 5 played especially great, but it was glaring, I think, how bad the offensive line was throughout the playoff run. Now, the Patriots were able to overcome it in their home games or, you know, on the road in Denver when they're playing Jarrett Stidham. They're able to overcome it because their defense picked off C.J. Stroud 4 times, and they scored points in their playoff games. Without the defense doing that, you know, Drake Maye is just running for his life. And to me, it was like when Mahomes lost to Brady in that Super Bowl and just, you know, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So I put it on the offensive line. What else?
Well, I think the coaching comes into play in this thing. And again, we all love Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. Josh McDaniels, Coach of the Year as an assistant. So they had 2 Coaches of the Year. And there were really 0 adjustments at the half. I mean, to me, it's like they knew they didn't have his team as good as the Seattle team. So they was like, you know what? Let's just play a conservative here, hope to get a turnover, hope that our defense continues to play. The defense did play very well. Can't blame them at all. And wait for a big break, which they got in those conference championship games and the earlier playoff rounds. It didn't happen in this one. But I thought coming out of the half, there'd be different adjustments, and you just didn't see it. The third quarter was as bad as the first and second with the offensive side of the ball. Nothing there. We didn't see anything, any trickeration, the kind of stuff that, you know, they're kind of famous for. They just played too conservative.
Yeah, the trickeration, the gimmick plays, that would be great to cause a spark. But I do wonder if McDaniels wasn't able to make adjustments just because they were so dominated up front. Whatever adjustment he was making. I saw a stat that Patriots running backs got hit in the backfield on 54% of their carries. So just massive,
Is that good?
a massive loss at the offensive line, and they have serious moves to consider this offseason, including moving Will Campbell inside to guard. Going back to the coaching, though, you mentioned, a great week awards-wise. Vrabel winning Coach of the Year, McDaniels winning Assistant Coach of the Year. I thought Vrabel was a little conservative in this one. The 8 possessions, 8 punts, never going for it, never putting the faith in his offense. But also late in the game, probably didn't matter. The Patriots weren't coming back to win, but they get down by 12, or they get down by 13, and he kicks the extra point to go down by 12 instead of going for 2 and trying to make it 11. Like that, to me, should have been a no-brainer. So it felt a little bit like they were asleep at the wheel last night.
And can I blame the owner just for one quick second? I mean, you know, he's been a great owner here. We understand that. But he brought a little bad karma to the scene here this week. Didn't have a great week from a PR standpoint. You know, watch out for the circles you hang out in. Don't make your fans have to apologize for other things. And I don't think the players were affected by the Hall of Fame votes of Belichick or Kraft or any of that stuff. They don't care. That's ancient history. It doesn't bother them. It created a little bit of a distraction and circus for us. But I just thought that overall, people weren't as enamored with the Patriots as they might have been.
Yeah, for Kraft, it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week. No question. And, for the Patriots, too, real quick, just glaring, I think they need some more help on offense. They have aging tight ends, probably need a little more help at receiver and then offensive line.